Hi guys, my name's Liam and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different to a generic video that might pop up on people's channels, and I wanted to talk to you about something quite serious, and that is grief and losing a loved one, losing a parent, and just ways to deal with that and the sort of things that you feel. So the reason that I wanted to talk to you about this is because about 8 weeks ago I lost my mum. This is a picture of my mum here. It's a picture we actually had at her wake about 6 weeks ago. So before I go into like some of the coping strategies and things that I use, I'd first like to tell you a little bit about my life over the past 8 weeks and sort of what's been going on. So about 6 years ago, my mum started to have a series of falls. She started to become quite confused with certain things. Just generally, she wasn't quite herself. And we were taking her to the doctors for around about 2 years before we got any sort of diagnosis. Originally, they did think it was a stroke. And then after about 2 years of backwards and forwards, she was diagnosed with a really rare condition called progressive supranuclear palsy. And over the time that she had it, it just sort of robbed her of everything. It took her ability to walk, she couldn't see, she couldn't speak, she couldn't eat in the end. And it was just a really hard time for us as a family, really. And then about 10 weeks ago, my mum got taken to the hospice for what we were originally told was going to be respite. And within a couple of hours of her being there, the doctor pulled us to one side to have a word, and she sat us down and basically told us that this is it. My mum was on end of life and she'd be lucky to have a couple of weeks left to live. Anyway, so yeah, I really can't thank the hospice enough for what they did, because they just made that end for her so much more dignified and comfortable, and they really helped us all through every step of it. And it was just, I can't thank them enough for what they did. So now that I've caught you up with that, I just want to talk to you about what happened after the morning of my mum passing away. So initially, obviously we felt devastated. It was horrible. It's a horrible feeling to know that someone you love's died. And then after a few hours had passed, and obviously we'd had the funeral planners come in to take mum's body away, and because she passed away at home. And yeah, we decided as a family, me, my brothers and my sisters, that we'll have a day out somewhere and just we need to get out of the house, basically. And from that point on, for the next 2 weeks or so, up until the funeral, I just felt numb. I didn't really feel anything. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel anything. And I think that's normal. You're sort of running on adrenaline, and it hadn't really sunk in what had happened. I still don't think now it's sunk in properly what's happened. And yeah, I just think that overwhelming feeling of numbness is something people get quite scared by, but actually I think it's a very normal part of grief. It's the fight or flight response coming in, and it just gives you that boost that you need just for them 2 weeks, just to be organised, get things done. We had to sort things out for the funeral planning. We had to arrange it so people from other parts of the country that were my mum's friends and family could come up to. I've got an uncle that lives in Korea. We had to, it's just a lot of organisation. And then again at the funeral, very sad and horrid. And once that sort of feeling of sadness passes a little bit, I also seem to start feeling a little bit of relief that she was out of pain, relief that we didn't have to look after her anymore. No, that sounds awful, but I think that is a normal thing. Like, it's a horrible thing, but for 6 years as a family we looked after my mum, and it's just sort of like, it's a bittersweet feeling knowing that you don't need to worry anymore, and know that she's not in pain anymore, but at the same time, knowing that you're never going to see her again, it's weird, it's strange. And then you sort of, for me, I had feelings of guilt come after that. Guilt because I felt relieved, but also guilt about, could I have done any more? Was I able to help her any more than I did? Certain times when I got frustrated with her, I probably did shout at her. And times just generally when I didn't feel good towards my mum because of everything that was going on, and you do get that feeling of guilt. And I think, again, that's a very normal thing to feel. And it's just a mixture of so many emotions. It's so surreal, like it's hard to explain. But I think the point that I'm wanting to make today is just that all of these things in the normal feelings, like, this isn't a feeling that just I felt, this is a feeling that everyone's going to feel when they lose a loved one. And you can feel quite bad about the way that you feel, but that's normal as well. Like, you just need to know you're not alone. So I just wanted to give you a few ways that I have sort of coped with the grief that I've had and how I get on with everyday life. So my first thing is I try to keep busy. So I work 20 hours a week, and I go to, so 3 days I work, and then the other 4 days I spend at university doing my degree. I'm doing psychology and criminology. So between university and work, I have very little free time, but in that free time, if I'm not doing extra work, I'm going to see my friends. I'm out the house constantly doing different things, just because I need my mind to be focused on something. I need to just be getting on. I think the times when I'm sat by myself are the times when things start to sink in, and you do need that time from every now and again, but it's not something that you need all the time, I don't think. And sort of just having something to occupy me is doing me the world good, really, because before with my mum, it was a constant thought, like I had to help her with everything. She couldn't go to the toilet by herself, she couldn't feed herself, anything like that. So there was just a constant something to do, and so I need that time to be filled. Now I don't feel right sitting and just watching a box set or anything like that. The second thing for me that I'd like to do is sort of visit the places that my mum liked. So whether that be the cafe that we used to take her to on a Sunday for a cup of coffee and a scone, going in there every now and again, whether it be somewhere we used to take her on a day trip. So we've got some nice little seaside villages not too far away that we used to take her to and have a walk around. Anything like that. I just like to go to them places and visit and do different things there. And that sort of brings back the nice memories for me that I have of my mum, and that really helps sometimes. I think a big thing for me, in a way of carrying on, because sometimes I think you do feel like, what's the point, like, what have I got now? And I think a big thing for me, what I like to do, is I aim to make her proud. That's my big thing now. Like, I know she's not going to be there for my graduation at university, but I want to do well, and I want to do well for her. And I want to do well so I can do all the things that she couldn't get us to do. So there was many times I know she felt bad because she couldn't take us on holidays all the time, or we couldn't afford to go to nice places all the time. So I want to do well so that I can go them places. My mum got cremated, and at the minute some of her ashes are actually getting turned into a ring that I'm going to wear. And so for me, knowing that my mum couldn't take us to those places and she felt bad about that, I'm going to have a piece of her with me when I can afford to go to these places, and I'm going to take her with me. And that's one of my big things. I want to do all the things she wanted to do. I think the next thing that I did, and this is probably one of the nicest things. So behind me, there's this big board, and I call it my mum board. And basically, there's just a lot of pictures on there of my mum with different members of our family, different things like that, and just a lot of nice memories. And I found it very therapeutic to just make that board, find them pictures and pop them on there. And every time I look at one of those pictures or see them, it gives me that little memory again. It just makes me smile to know that we had those happy times with her, and it's just nice to think about. And I think the final thing that I want to say to you is that you're not by yourself. There's always someone to talk to. So if you don't feel comfortable talking to your family, talking to your friends, hell, send me a message if you need to. There's like a stranger on the internet and I'm willing to listen to your problems. But there's always going to be someone there. Go see a doctor. They can refer you to a counsellor. Counselling, for me, is something that seems to get a lot of stigma. Mental health gets a lot of stigma, and really it shouldn't. Talking, for me, is the best medicine. Just talking about the way you feel, the way that certain things have made you feel, what you miss, what you want to do, what you like, and just having like an outside perspective to help you reason through your thoughts and make you realise certain things, I think it's so beneficial. And I think people need to make more use of that sort of thing. So yeah, that's just a few of my tips for coping with grief. And just know that no matter how you feel, it is normal, and there's someone else out there that feels the same way.